Welcome back to the Analog Dungeon. Here's part 2 of our Keep on the Borderlands series. Enjoy! So there is a bit of wilderness that takes you from the Keep on the Borderlands to the actual Caves of Chaos. You could think of it as kind of like the bus ride from the hotel to Disneyland.
Sure.
You're going to be looking outside, seeing all the swampy Floridian weather that, you know, you're not going to have to deal with once you get into the swampy Floridian theme park.
Avoiding gunfire and people trying to sell you cocaine.
Yeah, and methed up people trying to eat your face off.
Right. Bath salts.
The bath salts eat my face party? Eating my face off? Never would have imagined it. Anyway, so when you're traveling, there's a little bit of structure to this. There's a little couple of things that could happen, but there isn't really much that gets in your way as you're headed to the Caves of Chaos. It's just this is an area where you could do certain things. You could, mess around with some certain stuff, but there are quite a few warnings about once you kind of let the players loose a little bit, there is the chance that much like toddlers at Disneyland, they will disappear in 3 seconds, if provided they aren't on a leash.
Right, they will pop into the nearest cave and get eaten by a grick.
Exactly. So the typical first time parents at Disney.
Right.
So when you're looking at this map, you have the keep that is up on the side of the cliff, and then the roads that lead down. Directions of the book describe it as to the west, there is the realm. The road branches, one path leading up to the keep, the other leading off into the forsaken wilderness beyond the ken of law. Not as opposed to the Barbie of law.
Yeah, the ken of law. Yep. This has got to be another super obscure medieval reference to something that actually existed in medieval Europe.
Your ken, your knowledge, as opposed to that area outside of New Orleans, Kennebra. That's ken of law. So beyond the knowings of what there is in the realms of law, because remember we had at this time law as this capital L force as opposed by chaos.
Right. This whole thing is law. It's law v chaos.
Bingo.
It's very little. It's almost funny how divorced from good and evil they've taken this, right? It's very much like we've got to stop the forces of chaos as opposed to we've got to stop the forces of evil, even though it's kind of making a judgment call about chaos. Some chaos can be fun. It doesn't have to necessarily be bad. You're basically just trying to uphold your own laws, and that's not necessarily necessary, right?
Right. From the keep in south, it's all neat hedgerows and 2x1 highways.
Quite literally orderly. Quite literally.
Exactly. 6 foot wide shoulders on the road. You've got every 2 hours there's a rest stop. Your cul-de-sacs outnumbered.
Right.
That's where your law is. After that, it's man, there's no ordinances. There's no HOAs.
It's like the border in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's like the border from the normal where uncartoon humans are and tuned down. You literally step in and there's a guy running around hitting himself in the head with a hammer.
Yep. 1 minute you're in 1920s, 1930s, New York. The next year tripping acid.
Yeah.
So out in the realms of chaos, there are a few specific areas, 5 areas that are numbered. There are outside encounters 1 through 4. The last one is the Caves of Chaos area. One of them is actually there's a different caves that are in here. You have the Caves of Chaos, but there is a separate area that's just kind of cordoned off and marked called the Caves of the Unknown. There is nothing in the book that describes what is in the Caves of the Unknown.
I mean, if it explained what they were, you could call them the Caves of the Unknown. Exactly. They would immediately become the Caves of the Known.
Right, you're in your quantum superposition.
Sure.
So because they are the Caves of the Unknown, they're literally unknown. They're meant for you to devise your own cavern complex or dungeon maze.
Gotcha.
It also recommends you could expand other encounter areas, design camps, lairs, lost ruins to permit more adventure.
More dungeon Mad Libs.
Yeah. And this is funny because like you write things like this, right?
Right.
And then you think, oh God, what could possibly happen? I have to write something quick in here that's going to be enough of a caveat to cover my ass. And it says, if you do not wish to undertake this at first, simply, in all capital letters, do not allow your players to locate it, even if they thoroughly search the very space it is in. It was hidden by a magical illusion, so as
Sure.
to be undetectable.
This is proto DM bullshitting.
I mean, it was baked in from the start, right? This is the way that the professionals do it.
Yes. If you don't want them to know, just don't tell them. Just never tell them.
Also, this is a great way for them to kind of caveat in. If you want, you can buy the D&D Expert Set rulebook for more information.
Oh, sure. So it's marketing.
Wilderness adventures.
Oh, hey, I can think of a wilderness product that you might want to purchase if you like waterfalls and overly complicated theater plots.
Right. There's a little section describing like camping outdoors, and what I think is neat is that rather than a flat random roll to see if anything shows up, it's actually, very environmental. Nothing is going to bother the players unless they get close to these encounter areas, which makes sense. The closer you get, the higher the rate that something may happen, which I think is very heads up.
Yeah, makes sense.
There's also notes about, keep track of provisions. Think about how long it takes to be able to travel from place to place.
Right.
And there are a little bit more rules about, keeping track of traveling across grids and time. Things that tend to...
All the stuff you say you're going to do. And
right,
then you
exactly.
don't do.
Yeah. No, we were doing it back in the day.
Right. If we are to be believed, they were doing it back in the day, and that was a big part of it. But I don't know. I don't think human nature changes all that much. I have a feeling it was very much you get one, especially for homebrew. Right. They definitely weren't creating their own random encounter tables and forcing you to have 8 random encounters between this point and this.
So among the area encounters between the keep and the Caves of Chaos, you could come across the Mound of the Lizard Men, streams and pools of fens that are home of a tribe of exceptionally evil lizard men, as opposed to just your generic.
Yeah, just your standard evil. Like they do evil, and they don't just do it as like a profession. They enjoy it. They're professional hobbyists. Like they cannot
my profession is evil, but also my passion is evil. So it's noted that they're primarily nocturnal. They will avoid the residents of the keep and not bother people out in the daylight unless they specifically intrude upon the mounds.
And these aren't in a cave, right? These are external mounds.
There are actual mounds, fens that are kind of rising up out of the swamp. So if players traverse around or over them, which are kind of marked in the section of the map, then lizard folk will begin emerging and start attacking. So there are males and females, 8 young, and 6 eggs, as well as quite a bit of treasure. The largest of the tribe hiding in the lairs has a necklace worth 1,100 gold pieces, something you can sell to that jeweler that's back at the keep. Tucked in and around the nests, there are some smatterings of copper pieces, silver pieces, and a gold ingot worth 90 gold pieces, as well as a healing potion and a poison potion. But they're, it's described as being very tight to crawl in and out of. There's also another encounter area called the Spider's Lair with 2 large black widow spiders. Their web is strung up in between the trees. Under a pile of leaves nearby is the skeleton of the victim, a hapless elf. Everything he bore has turned to rot and ruin, save for a filthy shield, which appears quite worthless, but cleaning and oiling will return it to its +1 magical state.
Hey!
So there's decent loot to be found by messing around with these.
Especially hapless elf loot. That's like the best kind of loot.
Yeah, right? There's a raider camp. A party of 12 chaotic fighters have camped here. Like, I'm picturing them cartwheeling off of the trees as opposed to just, like, sitting around, like, cooking dinner and keeping a duty chart.
We sleep standing up because we're chaotic.
Do you want to go to the raider camp? No, to Silly Place.
One guy's running around with like a boot on his head.
Yeah.
This is chaos.
And then separate from that, there is a mad hermit, which actually has a bit more personality to it.
Okay.
Because for years, this solitary hermit has haunted this area of the forest, becoming progressively wilder, crazier, and more dangerous. His home is in a huge hollow oak, the entrance to the hollow concealed by a thick bush. Inside is a mound of leaves and a couple of pieces of crude furniture. Even his cup and plate are handmade of wood and are of no value. It's weird calling out specifically like ye olden, like even his cup and plate. There is a small chest buried under a few inches of dirt under the leaves of the Mad Hermit's bed. In the container, 31 gold pieces, 164 silver, a potion of invisibility, and a +1 dagger. There is also another surprise, though. The hermit has a pet, a mountain lion, hanging out up in the tree, waiting to just wow and just jump on unwary intruders.
It's Sheila.
This creature will always get first attack.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Sheila doesn't fuck around.
No, straight up. Oh, I believe there's a Sheila up in that tree. I'm crikey.
So a crazy man with a mountain lion.
Yep.
Especially evil lizard folk, and a bunch of silly ass fighters.
Yep. So just, a smattering of things, but you might find, some game animals roasting at the raiders camp that make for, good eating after you murder the group of them. You might deal with the Mad Hermit, the lion, and steal his treasure. You might deal with the spiders and get yourself a +1 shield in the process, but eventually you will make your way towards the caves of chaos.
And there's no direction based on, like it's not like... It's not separated into like a random encounter table. It's just, you might do this on the way if you're feeling, fancy. This trip in. If you're feeling froggy, you might jump.
Yeah, these are just the denizens of the area. These are the stuff that the area is stocked with, and you just got to be aware that it's out there and be prepared to deal with it. So when you get to the Caves of Chaos, there is a section that is read to the party. Remember, the caves are tucked in a ravine, and it is important for the purposes of the adventure that the players enter the ravine from its open end, not from the closed box end of this canyon. The forest you have been passing through has been getting more dense, tangled, and gloomier than before. The thick, twisted tree trunks, unnaturally misshapen limbs, writhing roots, clutching and grasping thorns and briars, all seem to warn and ward you off. But you have forced and hacked your way through regardless. Now, the strange growth has suddenly ended. You've stepped out of the thicket into a ravine-like area. A ravine.
Right.
The walls rise rather steeply to either side to a height of around 100 feet or so. Dark, streaked rock mingled with earth. Clumps of trees grow here and there, both on the floor of the ravine and up the sloping walls of the canyon. The opening you stand in is around 200 feet wide. The ravine runs at least 400 feet west to where the western end rises in a steep slope. Here and there, at varying heights on all sides of the ravine, you can see the black mouths of cave-like openings in the rock walls. The sunlight is dim, the air dank. There is an oppressive feeling here, as if something evil is watching and waiting to pounce on you.
Or worse than
like Sheila did back at the tree.
Or worse than evil.
Right?
Untidy.
There are bare, dead trees here and there, and upon one, a vulture perches and gazes hungrily at you. A flock of ravens rise croaking from the ground, the beat of their wings and their cries, magnified by the terrain, to sound loud and horrible. Amongst the litter of rubble, boulders, and dead wood scattered about on the ravine floor, you can see bits of gleaming ivory and white. Closer inspection reveals that these are bones and skulls of men, animals, and other things.
But no
you
ladies.
Know that you have certainly discovered the Caves of Chaos.
Dun-dun.
Yep. This is very much your Knights of the Round Table entering the rabbit's lair, like, the smoke machine is set somewhere in the cave, and it's kind of like misting out from there, and everything is looking desolate and weird. Describing the area further, the Dungeon Master knows that the cave doors that you face first and on the lowest level will have the least most dangerous things. It's going to have your starting off stuff. Some of these caverns are connected to each other, some aren't. But as you progress deeper and deeper, there are going to be more challenges awaiting more complexes and nastier monsters. So if the players are instantly just like, we're going to go to the far end, we're going to climb up, and we're going to go to the very top one because fuck you, DM.
Right.
You're like, haha, ha ha ha. If you want to roll up new characters, be my guest.
Right. That's not level 1. That's not level 1 zone. Level 1 zone is down here where it's safe, where you can't be shunted out of the cave and tumble 30 yards down to your doom.
There's a minotaur wearing like human hand gloves. It's like, nope, hold on, you don't have the wristband. You can't go into this part of the caves. When you first enter the ravine, there are going to be 2 cavern entrances to your left, kind of closer. There's one on the right, and then there's one at the way end of the gorge at the bottom. So the ones that they're most likely to go into are going to be either to the left or the right. Jeramy, you are our adventuring party.
Mm-hmm.
You have been perhaps led here by a stalwart cleric, a priest who has been all talking up about how he's going to help you guys with your big quest. But he leaves the decision up to you. Which cave are you picking? Are you going left? Are you going right? If you're going by number, caves 1 and 2 on the left, and then cave 3 on the right-hand side.
Start at the beginning. Let's go cave 1. Cave 1.
Very good. This is actually in the module as cave D. So go into our cave D.
D for delicious.
It's actually D for goblin.
That's a very goblin-y way of putting it.
Pretty much, yeah. The goblin lair is a pretty simple, straightforward series of rooms. A natural cave that quickly turns into worked stone tunnels. The passageways here are very busy. For every 10-foot distance covered by the party, there is a 1 in 6 chance that they will encounter a group of goblins. So this is definitely something where they are kind of, active, moving in and around. Once the wandering goblins are encountered and defeated, check no further. When an encounter occurs, the entire bunch of goblins will attack and cry out an alarm, Briark, at the same time. Wandering goblins, in addition, are found in these areas. So you have a guard chambers with more goblins. You finally get an answer. Goblins watch these. If there is a cry of Briark, similar to "Hey, Rube," 2 of the guards will rush in.
So Briark is a signal.
Yep. Much like Carney's at a fair saying, "Hey, Rube," in order to get someone thrown out.
Gotcha.
Being able to, yell Briark is like, danger is here, commence to plan alpha, whatever the hell the plan is. But you have, from the complex, you can go kind of forward, left, or right. Forward leads to a dead end. Left is going to circle back around to a couple different rooms. Right is going to move through towards a secret door in a chamber that actually connects to an outside cave. There, if you had gone to cave 2, then you would have walked into a different room, and it would have been the only room that you would have seen.
So the first cave you have the opportunity to go into connects to a higher cave?
Yes, they all kind of connect to each other in different ways. But like if you're looking at if you're going in from east to west and you're looking to your left, to the south, then running along the cave wall, there is one cave entrance. And then about 30, 40 feet down the way, there's another cave entrance. Well, if you go in the first one, you're entering into this goblin complex.
Right.
If you're going into the second one, then you're actually going into, let me pull it up here, because the way this is organized is like a little back and forth. It has a lot of letters where you enter, and then you have a lot of numbers representing the individual rooms, but the numbers don't like fully cluster and match up. It's something that if you could reorganize this thing, I would.
Sure. As you pointed out, like the one that's very obviously should be Cave 1 is Cave D for Goblin. So it's like, why isn't it Cave 1 and it just happens to be the Goblin Complex Cave?
Right. So we're on our map. We're going into Cave D.
Mhm.
If we circle around to the right, there will be a room that is a guard chamber. There are goblin guards with spears. They're watching the passageways, waiting for intruders. They've had some trouble with some of the hobgoblins from around the area, and so they're kind of just looking for any trouble that may come in.
Probably in another cave. So it's a little cave Civil War sort of situation.
Much like any other chaotic monsters, they all kind of fend off of one another.
Right.
Sometimes they help each other out, sometimes they don't. In this particular case, the guards on the right have a secret door that they can open and throw a sack with 250 gold pieces to the ogre that is inside. If you had gone to that second door from the outside, there would have been a single room, and that is the ogre's lair, the ogre's cave. And that's all it is. Going inside the ogre's cave, there's a strong, sour odor. There seems to be a huge bear sprawled asleep in the southwest part of the cave. This is nothing more than the skin of a huge bear, which an ogre killed and uses as a bed, making it more comfortable by heaping leaves underneath it. The ogre sits in the eastern portion of the lair, and noise will certainly bring him ready to the battle. It's a big ogre with a thick hide and another thick bear skin worn for protection. If you attack the goblins and the ogre is just hanging out in his lair, then they will bribe him with a sack of 250 gold.
What does an ogre need gold for?
Well, he just wants it.
He just wants it.
It's like any other giant. They collect things and they shove them in a sack.
He just wants it.
Yeah.
Don't question my need for currency. I just like it. I think it's neat.
Yeah. So it says for the goblins that if they give the signal for Briark, 2 of them will rush over to that secret door, yank it open, and then pull a sack of gold coins hidden in a water barrel out and throw it to the ogre, asking for help. The ogre will accept, enter the goblin's lair, and move to attack intruders immediately.
Okay, so ostensibly, you're level 1.
Yep.
You've rolled into this cave. Call me naive. I was expecting, this is the giant rat cave. And there's giant rats.
Yeah.
This is and there's maybe like a centipede. And maybe there's like a were-rat, like way back in the back. And you get some silver. And it's clear easy mode. Like, clear, this is a baby's adventure for babies.
Yeah.
What you actually get is the first cave. You roll in, you almost immediately run into some goblins.
Yep.
And then you explore for 2 seconds. You immediately run into more goblins who get their friend the ogre.
Yep.
To just, it's an ogre, so.
Yeah, the ogre's going to come in to stomp you flat.
Yes, right, exactly. Now, I think it is important to keep in mind that as we discussed last time, you're 9 people potentially.
Yes, this is, you are a marauding party of 6 to 9 people.
You're the polyphonic spree, basically.
This isn't also a good place to like possibly be like, hey, this is expecting that you might even have that priest with you.
That's true. You might, or
fully kitted out priest,
or other hirelings, which
possibly,
is a hallmark of the earlier. So you may be rolling with a pretty deep crew. Now, I would argue a pretty deep crew in caves not as helpful. Because it's kind of confined spaces, and ogres are just going to be able to chew you up pretty easily in a relatively confined space.
Yep.
But still, yeah. So they're playing for keeps.
Yep.
Yeah. Yikes.
So this is also like all piled right at the entrance to this complex. That's actually I mean, that's fairly intelligent in terms of being able to protect yourself from, roving bands of murder hobos.
True, yeah. I mean, I guess you could use the logic that you don't want to go to the ones that are hard to get to because those are probably full of really fresh monsters, but you might necessarily not want to go to the ones that are really super easy to get to because they probably see people like you all the time and are ready to whip your ass.
Exactly.
You might want to go a little far, but not too far. It's a porridge situation, Russell.
Right.
It's,
it needs to be just
yes, it needs to be just right. It's just a soupçon of danger.
There you go. Now, let's say you immediately clear out the 2, or 3, because there may be a wandering group of goblins.
Sure.
The groups of goblins and possibly the ogre, assuming that they call for their help, or like you somehow just come across the ogre naturally.
Right.
Now, this is actually a really interesting design choice. You could go deeper into the caverns, either to the east or the west, kind of following the directions these 2 big goblin groups came from. One, the group that let in the ogre, have a passageway that heads deeper on the same level. The other, the kind of side group off to the southeast on the map, there are a set of stairs that lead up. Now, Jeramy, in most dungeons, most dungeon design, like older school dungeon design, especially video game dungeon design, revolves around finding a set of stairs in order to go deeper into the dungeon.
Yes.
And usually, which direction is that?
You're going down.
You're going down. And what does going down some stairs in a dungeon typically signify?
That it's going to get more difficult.
Exactly. It's going to get more difficult.
This is full on Diablo. This is full on Diablo rules here. Like we've referenced Diablo before. This is full on Diablo rules here. Like this is how everything in Diablo works. You get into the hall of the flesh rippers or whatever, and there's like floor 1, floor 2, and then on floor 3 is the huge, usually scantily clad demon lady who tries to poison you.
Right. So because of that, you should probably have learned a little bit in kind of, if I go deeper in the dungeon, it's going to be more dangerous.
Right.
But instead, what's interesting about the Caves of Chaos is if you go up the stairs,
sure,
things are going to get more dangerous. If you head to the southeast and you follow the stairs up, then you will actually rather quickly, enter kind of the second terrace's dungeon, the Hobgoblin Lair. And the Hobgoblins, fierce creatures, troubled by marauders. The lair entrance is guarded by a stout barred door in the back of the cave, lined with skulls. All of these big warnings that are like, come in, we'd like to have you for dinner, like all sorts of things. But that's at the main entrance. If you just kill some goblins and then go up the stairs, suddenly you are going to be outside a common room with 8 female hobgoblins, as well as 3 young hobgoblins, and a group of male hobgoblins that are kind of watching from the opposite side, communicating to the goblins below. So you could quickly run into an even more difficult encounter just by heading up a pair of stairs that the goblins have been guarding. Because that's part of the arrangement between the hobgoblins and the goblins. You watch this bottom area here. We're going to kind of like poke you to make sure you do what you're told because you're goblins. We can't trust you. But you watch our backs. We'll watch the front door open.
Right. And you have to keep the hobgoblin sorority safe.
Right. But this might be a moment where players could realize, like, oh, if I go upstairs, that's more dangerous. Yeah. Because then they're putting together, oh, right, this is like layers. And if I go up the layers, it's more dangerous. Right. We want to be careful, and we want to be avoiding stairs if we can help it.
Right. Stay on the level that we're at.
Exactly.
Stay to the rivers and the lakes that we're used to quote.
There you go.
The great.
We are not chasing waterfalls in this one.
That's right.
So let's say you instead go west. You go deeper into the goblin lair on this level. You're going to find a common room with 24 goblins, 30 goblins in it, 10 males, 14 females, 6 young goblins, all dwelling here.
This is the rival goblin sorority.
Right. Food is prepared and eaten here. General meetings are likewise held here. Goblin meetings. Can you imagine goblin meetings? There are heaps of bedding, tables, stools, benches all around the whole place, making it very cluttered. The males all have d6 silver pieces, the females 2d6 copper. If the wandering group of goblins has not been encountered when the adventurers enter, be certain to have those 6 additional males in this chamber. 36 potential goblins.
Yikes.
So you're going to stay on the same level as the rest of the goblins. And after you move past the common room with your 36 potential goblins in it, that's when you're going to reach kind of a back end of the cave where the chieftain is waiting. And this is kind of your first pseudo kind of boss fight.
Mhm.
This goblin is pretty hefty. Chainmail, shield, 3 guards, as well
I mean,
as...
there's only 4 fucking people. If you just took care of potentially 36 goblins,
Yeah, if you've dealt with 36 goblins, you're probably like
you might be
ready,
all right.
ready to go.
Yeah.
There is also a goblin harem. There are several females quartered here as well. The chief has a purse with 18 gold and 2 platinum. Each of his guards has 8 electrum pieces. You're paying your guards in electrum.
That's like paying in Sacagawea dollars.
There you go. There's a 9 gold piece valued silver cup under his bed. The guards have bows on the wall, as does Chieftain. If there is time, they will take them down and use them. There's also a decent amount of goblin-sized furniture throughout. If you wanted to maybe take some of it to decorate your place with, or make the halfling feel at home.
Yeah. Grab a chair for the halfling. Take it to the tavern you should have given a name to. You didn't name the tavern, did you? You got to name the tavern.
Nope. We are leaving that up to the players.
That's right.
It is the Quantum Tavern because it can whatever it is in your own universes.
It is the BF Skinner Tavern.
There you go. There is a low bench near the bed with a secret drawer under the seat. Inside is the goblin's prized treasure, a tapestry with silver and gold threads worth 900 gold pieces.
Wow, not bad.
Nearby is a stand with a pewter bowl holding 273 silver and 321 copper. There is also the last remaining room for the goblins. There's a storage chamber nearby meant to stash all their food, beer, wine, all the different things that they have been ransacking and stealing from all the raiding on trade routes that they have been doing.
Right.
It is noted, though, that at the back of the storeroom, there is a secret door the goblins don't know about. And after they do all the hard work of raiding and pillaging and bringing in stuff and stashing it away, the hobgoblins will sneak down and steal the best stuff.
So you know the pantry, right? The pantry where we we go out and we your best friend got killed and it's really rough, but we bring back all that great treasure and we always store it in the pantry. Did you notice that, like, the good stuff, like I put like a whole turkey in there the other day, and like I went in there later, I went in there today and it was just like bones of a turkey. So maybe we should start storing this stuff, like I don't know, maybe somewhere else. Maybe.
The chieftain is very, very adamant. He is not going to pay for Ring. He is not putting Ring cameras in.
It's just your imagination. People say that about the dryer too. I've never lost a sock in the dryer. You're just losing them. They're socks. They're small. They're easy to lose. Just figure it out. Everything's fine.
It is noted that if the players stay overly long in the storage room, 4 hobgoblins.
The fucking door just opens and hobgoblins are like, hey, then they walk in. Oh yeah, well, let's go check out the old goblin Walmart and see what they got for us. Like, wait, you're not a goblin or a turkey that I ate later. Let's kill these guys.
They all have like hand baskets, and they all kind of stand there like, well, this is awkward.
Well, we didn't expect this. The door, I like to think the door opens automatically, like sweeps open like the doors at the grocery store. You just step in.
The player characters are wearing Hawaiian shirts that they found along the way. And the hobgoblins are like, this is new. I didn't realize we had a Trader Joe's. Well, you guys will just set anchor anyway.
Oh, we're in the Trader Joe's footprint now. Wow. I mean, this place, I thought, moving to the Caves of Chaos was, I was a little concerned about property values, but it must be getting better. We got a TJ's.
Well, the troglodyte said we had a Whole Foods. It was only a matter of time.
Only a matter of time before we get a TJ's. Anyway.
I hear that the orcs are getting a Costco.
Lead the way to the cookie butter. That's all I've got to say.
They're going to gentrify the caves. There may as well be some.
That's true. That's true. We got the Whole Foods. We got the Costco. Eventually, if we really play our cards right, we'll get that IKEA, and really we'll be set. We'll be literally set for life then.
Yeah, but yeah, with two little exceptions, it's a neat and tidy 5 cave route, and that's your goblins. You have the ogres. That's kind of the outlier, and then if you follow the stairs up, you wind up in hobgoblin territory pretty quickly. But yeah, that's it. That's your first cave,
and weirdly connected. Yeah, but possibly your third cave if you play your cards right and get your head beaten in by some hobgoblins. So you got to assume that like this is at least a 2-day sojourn, if not a 3-day.
Oh, trying to clear like the whole place out? No, this is going to take you a hearty length of time. Like this could take months or even a year plus in-game time. Remember, your player characters, unless they have magical means of healing,
sure,
are only going to recover like a hit point a day or a hit point, like not much at all. So there is the potential to, sojourn in, maybe make it partway through this, retreat back out into the woods, camp for a couple of days, come back in to finish off the lower level, and then discover, oh, it's looking pretty gnarly past this point, and then leave.
Right, or go and see the ogre run directly back to the keep.
Yeah. Now, the goblins will not repopulate anyone that dies. If the goblins are soundly defeated by intruders,
sure,
the goblins will attempt to hide or flee east. Those that do flee will go inform the hobgoblins and join forces with.
Oh, so you go in, you make a pretty big dent in the goblin force, but you have to leave. You come in, fewer goblins. You think, oh, hey, my lucky day. You go up to hobgoblins, and it's the Jets and the Sharks have joined forces and are now the jet-propelled sharks, I guess. And now you have to take on both of them at the same time. I kind of like that. That's fun.
More likely, you'll find the goblins kind of scattered with the most outer forces that the hobgoblins use, so they're cannon.
Right.
But yeah, that is kind of your lower end of the south end of the ravine. There are 2 other caves left. The first cave you come across is to the north. That's cave 1. And then at the very, very tip end of the ravine, there's cave G for Goofy. Because don't look at the overall map of the ravine and think about it as the tip.
Yeah, yeah, the negative space. Yeah.
Right. Or not. So, let's say you go north. Let's say that you hit the It's kind of close to the front. You take the first caves. This is cave A. Cave A, maybe a little bit closer. These are kobolds.
Oh, we love a kobold.
Yep. 2 in 6 chance the group enters the cave-like tunnel, and 8 kobolds will be ready to come out from hiding in the trees and attack the players after they enter the tunnel.
Oh, from outside?
Yeah, because there's like big copses of trees all around these entryways, especially down the bottom level. So the kobolds will be snuck up in the trees, and when people go inside, they just jump down and it's like, gotcha.
Now you can't escape. But we forgot we're kobolds, and we're very easy to kill, especially by 9 people. They're all armed.
Well, they may also try to drive the players in because there is a trap waiting about 10-15 feet in where the first fork happens.
Clever.
There is a pit. The 3 in 6 chance, this is a 50% chance, that each person in the front rank of the party will fall in unless they are probing ahead of them. So it's a big open pit. This isn't like a collapsing, floor or anything like that. There is a 1 in 6 chance individuals in the second rank will also fall in, but only if they are close to the first rank and the character ahead has fallen in. The pit is 10 feet deep. Those fallen in will take 1 to 6 points of damage. The pit lid will close.
Ugh.
And persons within cannot escape without aid from the outside. The noise will attract creatures from nearby rooms. Planks for crossing the pit are stored in another room. So this actually is a covered pit, but the kobolds outside might chase them in. Players rushing in for cover, like to try to get on either side of the T junction that this pit is in.
Right.
Fall straight in.
Wow. So it's literally like that old cartoon trap, but in reverse. Like
Exactly.
the box on the stick with the string,
Yep.
you wait, and instead of a box, it's just a hole, and then the pressure cooker lid goes, and they're stuck
Or
inside, and you've got two guys in there, and now you're like, do we save our friends, or do we run,
or the old kind of Scooby-Doo inexplicable ramp or slide that just suddenly
Oh yeah,
appears
yeah.
in the mansion. So yeah, your kobolds outside can potentially ambush you, jump on your head, chase you in. You could fall into the pit. If you don't, then you're heading west or east. To the west, there is a room with giant rats. There are the
Hey,
rats you were
there's
looking
my, there's my giant rats.
Yep. The rats have a chance of giving the players a disease from biting them.
Ooh.
If the saving throw is failed against poison, there is a 25% chance the character dies in 1d6 days.
Okay.
Because you got to first fail the
Sure,
saving throw
sure.
against poison, and then hit 25 or less on the percentile. Otherwise, the character will be too sick to adventure for 1 game month.
Mm-hmm.
The rats are pets of the kobolds, living off of garbage and the waste of their hosts.
So
If I
all
knew they
around
were eating
gross.
kobold waste, I probably would want to die too.
Yeah, I may intentionally fail some
Yeah.
some rolls there.
They rush to the sound of the trapdoor closing or of nearby battle. They have nothing of value, but there is a leader rat.
There's a head rat.
There's a head rat.
There's a chief rat.
It'll be at the back of the pack. It's described as a huge fellow, AC 5, due to speed and cunning.
Yikes!
You get an elite rat.
Hey, I mean, you appreciate an elite rat. If you have your, though it's a little, it's weird that the rats are the pets of the kobold, but there's an elite rat.
Yep. It's so elite, they were given a thin silver chain set with 5 small gems.
Wow. This is like someone's
jewelry.
little Paris Hilton dog.
Yeah, basically. The jewelry is valued at a total of 400 gold pieces, each gem worth 50, and the chain itself worth 50.
Damn, someone blinged out this elite rat.
Right? Like, could you imagine the kobold, lifts this from the treasure, and all the other, kobolds around, oh my god, this is great. And he's like, I know exactly where this is going to go. And there's, Kobe Sue, who has been kind of waiting ever since high school, and is, batting her eyes, and then suddenly puts it on the rat.
Walks right past it.
Kobe Sue goes in a room and puts on TikTok, I know why I'm always going to be single.
Come here, rot gut. This will look perfect on you. Look how handsome. Look at my handsome boy.
Don't ever talk bad about my rat son ever again. So there is a little storage room that has planks for walking across the pit for the kobolds. Heading further east into the cave, there is another split that will lead you to 4 different rooms. The biggest among them, a common room where the whole kobold tribe lives except for the kobold chieftain and some guards. 17 males, 23 females, 8 young. If the caves are invaded, those able to do so will help in its defense. Some males and females have coins. Amidst the litter of cloth and bits or scraps, there are pieces of silk worth 150 gold pieces. If the party does not search it, it will not be located. Sounds like what normally happens. You don't search for things.
Mm-hmm. You don't find them.
Therefore, you won't find them.
And I mean, I think if you, since we're dealing with, disease-carrying, shit-eating rats,
Literally shit.
Maybe you're like, I'm not going to go poking around. I'm not going to go poking around in the floor. Who knows what's down there and what it eats.
Oh, look, this random piece of cloth I came up with to wipe off my disease-ridden leg, the pus oozing from it, happens to be expensive silk. That's just my life.
Just my life.
Yep. There's a food storage room with a locked door with various, pieces of salted meat, grain, and veggies, and sacks, boxes, barrels, piles. There are also pieces of past human victims.
Eee.
Yeah. There's a guard room with
But weirdly, not the worst thing that they've eaten.
no. There's a guard room with 3 very large kobold guards. They didn't skip leg day.
Sure. It's buff, jacked ass kobolds.
But they will hide behind corners for cover and shoot.
Sure. Kobolds are not stupid.
And then in the kobold chieftain's room, there is a huge kobold, so powerful that he fights with a battle axe.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's definitely this is definitely a meritocracy. The biggest kobold is the chief, and then the slightly smaller kobolds are his, captains, and then all the rest of the scrounging around kobolds.
Yep. Like most gastrotocracies, the guy who eats the most, gets the most, and thus keeps eating the most.
There you go.
And thus keeps getting ahead.
more Russell vocabulary, a gastrotocracy.
Yeah. So he has a key to the storage room where all the food is.
Sure.
As well.
Of course. Yeah. Naturally.
Yeah. As well as a large gem on a great golden chain around his neck, valued at 1,200 gold pieces. A reminder, now that we've gotten all these big gold piece things out of the way, gold pieces equals XP.
Yes.
You are wanting to scrounge around and come out with stuff because that's your experience points.
That's how you get where you're going.
Just like in a lot of CRPGs where you kind of are expected to open every single crate and barrel to find the randomly generated loot that awaits you, you need to scrape and scrounge for every single 20 gold piece item because that might be enough to get you over into the next level.
Yeah.
Because all this is going to be split by the party outside, and then you're going to get XP based off of it. 5 female kobolds are also in the room. There are heaps of cloth, bits of battered furniture. Hidden in an old blanket hanging on the wall are 50 gold pieces sewn into the hem. Each female has a d6 gold pieces. There's a locked chest with 203 copper, 61 silver, and 22 electrum. Kobolds also, like the rest, will not be replaced. Injured kobolds will heal. If the attackers hurl oil at the kobolds, they will retreat if possible, rather than suffer damage. Since they have should they have the opportunity to find any flasks of oil, kobolds will use them against attacking characters.
So, but just I guess, oil and then try and set people on fire?
I mean, I assume. Yeah, it's an interesting note just for kobolds.
That kobolds are down with oil.
Apparently.
I'm not making any jokes about any parties that anybody may or may not have had.
Going into the common room and it's just a big pile of slicked up, oiled up kobolds.
I like to think
each other like a bunch of otters at feeding time.
Okay, we've gone too far. I like to think that kobolds are just very into like bodybuilding. They're all big fans of bodybuilding, and so sometimes the bigger kobolds get nice and slicked up, and they go out there and they, oh, look at the vascularity on that guy. And they put their little speedos on and.
You get into the common room and you're interrupting the usual kobold macho contest.
Yes. There's a little stage and a kobold on it in a speedo, like making muscles, and everyone's clapping.
They've got silver plates. They're reflecting lights onto them.
What the fuck did I walk into?
Anyway, there's a spare 6 rooms, easy enough, and you're through with a kobold lair. If you head to the very end of the ravine, where it curls at the very tip, you'll enter Cave Complex G. And in Cave G, this is the last of our lower level caverns, you have the Shunned Cavern.
Ooh, that doesn't sound good.
Even the normal inhabitants of this area, including the ogre, stay away from here, for the creature that dwells herein are exceptionally dangerous. Any creature foolish enough to venture out at night becomes fair game. Players will notice a horrible stench as they enter the cavern area. Unlike the other caverns they've gone into, this doesn't turn from, kind of normal cavern stone into worked stone. This is largely just open, rounded cave, like normal caves. In here, you're going to find lots and lots of rotting corpses and bones, as well as some bits and pieces of copper, silver, and electrum, in order to kind of search in and around them. So it's basically a big strewn mass pile in this big, empty kind of gallery room.
Just like right inside?
Yeah. This is Well, this is a natural cavern.
Hmm.
So you're going to have like kind of some curling bits and pieces of space that kind of
Hmm.
move off into a long corner.
Sure.
But they're all the same area. They're all numbered the same area. So you might see like a big pile of bodies with some glinting coins tucked away back in a corner 10 feet to one side.
It's just any treasure just sitting out in the open-ish like that has got to make you. I mean, I guess if you're thinking, it's got to make you go.
Well, specifically, this should give the idea that like we're walking into a charnel pit. We're walking into there are bits and pieces of rotting meat, tons and tons of bones, and scattered throughout all of this awful are some coins that players could, if they're, again, really scrounging for every XP they can get, they might grub up a lot of coins, but doing so, if like, hey, we're going to start searching for coins here, is going to attract some attention.
Right, because whatever's in here and is more interested in making bodies than making money is probably not something you want to have, just run in on you while you're shining up the silver piece you found under some decapitated ear.
Exactly, because the thing that is in here is an owlbear.
Oh, BG3 flashbacks.
Oh, yes. There are two ends of this cavern complex. There's kind of the middle area that's kind of got lots of little kind of sticking out corners and pieces on it. But at the very extreme ends, the north and south, on the north end, there is a shallow pool that, water has just kind of formed a deep pool here with some blind fish swimming around. In the water, there is a jewel-encrusted goblet worth 1,300 gold pieces. But there are also 3 gray oozes here. So they can potentially ambush the players, falling on them, being in and around the water area, so players think they're stepping in mud, only to have an ooze like lurch onto them and attack them. There's a pair that is always in place, one at the south edge of the pool, one on the ceiling in the southwest portion of the area. There is only a 1 in 20 chance of noticing either of them unless a pole device is used to prod the area before the pool, or unless 2 or more torches are held aloft so as to fully light the ceiling area. The third gray ooze will be on the ceiling to the left of the entrance, if present. So they basically blend in unless they're really, really, really lit well, or if you're poking in just the right place with a stick. Back in our days of taking a 10-foot pole with you to check every piece of floor.
10-foot pole is a required piece of dungeon kit, and do not leave home without it. Not a 9-foot pole. 10-foot pole.
Nope. So, in the far south, you have the owlbear's den, where there is an owlbear sleeping off a knoll that it had just caught at dawn. It says, if aroused, the beast will roar and rush out, striking with its 2 great paws and toothy beak for 1 to 8 points of damage per hit, with 3 such attacks per round.
Point of order, beaks don't have teeth, but,
Yeah. It has no treasure, but amidst the many sticks and bones it sleeps on is a bone tube with inside a protection from undead scroll.
Nice. I mean, I guess the treasure is with the friends you made on the way, but it's also the big pile of stuff. You take care of the owlbear, and you're free at your leisure to sift through everything in the everything on the way in here. So you're just padding along inside this. This isn't a super small cavern area, so you're just kind of. But there's only action on either end, so you're kind of just a little bit of exploring, maybe a couple of dead ends, and then you roll into owlbear territory.
Well, the most likely scenario, unless you're being very, very cautious and quiet, is you get in, you start poking around, and then you attract the attention, possibly even splitting up just enough that when the owlbear makes its presence known, there's only 1 or 2 people nearby.
Or four, probably 4-ish, but yeah.
Well, yeah, because we're dealing with 6 to 9 people, so the owlbear very likely gets woken up and then attacks the players while they're in the big gallery area. And then they just potentially stumble into the oozes while they're trying to just, search the place out.
Or you head toward the oozes first, and your battle attracts the owlbear, and then you are, as they say, proper fucked.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So that brings us to all the caves on the lower level.
We've taken care of the lower levels.
Yes. goblins and kobolds, the owl bear. There's an ogre down here.
Mhm.
All of those can be wiped out probably over the course of several sessions. You might even hit level 2 by this point, especially if you're really scrounging up all those pieces of treasure.
Mhm.
There are kind of secret but not so secret entrances to the hobgoblin territory
Mhm.
that you could take out of the goblin lairs, or you could, when you re-enter the Caves of Chaos, decide to move up to the upper level. So while we're here, let's knock the hobgoblins out of the way.
Yeah, we've already they've already been a little bit of an appetizer. Let's go main course on those hobgoblins.
Exactly. We've been teased long enough.
Give me hobgoblins.
So these hobgoblins again, protected front door, kind of keeping an eye on the sides, planning on the goblins to give them a bit of attention, time, bit of warning in case stuff were to happen. So if you are coming in through the main cave entrance, you have that big heavy door that's locked to deal with. You're going to enter into a 4-way hallway. You're entering on one end. It proceeds to your left and right, as well as goes up some stairs directly ahead of you. Now, what do we say about going upstairs?
Yeah, we don't want to up is down, baby. You don't want to do that until you're ready.
Yep. If you were to go up those stairs, there's only one room at the very top of it. This is kind of in the third layer of this dungeon, and that is the common room, a large place used for meals, meetings, and general revels of the hobgoblin tribe. There are many tables and benches set out now as the place is being readied for an upcoming feast. There are 4 males, 5 females, and 9 young working here. Males have a D4 gold pieces, females 2D6 silver pieces. The head table has a set of pewter dishes on it. Their value is 25 gold for the set, in case you're out, shopping for your summer home.
Or you're looking for a wedding present for one of your 9 friends who's undoubtedly getting married.
Yep. If you were going to head down towards where the goblins kind of wrapped around, there's 2 rooms, a common room, another common room, 5 males, 8 females, and 3 young. Heaps of cloth and skins for beds, some odds and ends of furniture, and a small barrel with beer buckets all in this area, relatively worthless. This is mostly just like a whole bunch of goblins living kind of adjacent to the door that leads down to the goblin area.
Sure. So I'm probably gonna regret asking this.
Yeah.
Is there a mechanical difference that's given between the male hobgoblins, the female hobgoblins, and the young, and retroactively for the goblins too, because they're making it very much a point. And I understand if you're into that, if you're looking into more of like this isn't a bandit hideout. This is where these individuals live. Like you have them but is there a mechanical difference between them, or are they just pointing that out because?
There are stats listed for all of the adults, all of the males and the females, and there are different stats for the males and females.
Okay.
And the primary thing that I think is meant to be kind of demonstrated here is there are combat ready hobgoblins, and then there are non-combat ready hobgoblins.
Civilian hobgoblins, if you will.
Essentially, the young, in all cases, the young are described as do not fighting, have no treasuring.
Right.
So there's really no point to kill them.
Yeah, at least we're not supporting infanticide here.
Right. So, there's a number of different things that could happen. It could be that you fight all the combatants, all the non-combatants are just kind of like, defending them. As a DM, it's like, how do you want this to play out? Do we want to be like Dark Age, Conan, brutal? Do we want to look at something that's a little bit more like, get out of here,
Right.
So you have these common rooms that connect to the goblin area to the hobgoblins. And there is also and this is the full title of the room, torture chamber, playroom, food storage.
Those are not words that should be in that order or so close to one another.
I mean, it's like your typical day. You go to the torture chamber. You go into the playroom. You go to the food storage.
Yeah, food storage.
You go to the combination torture chamber, playroom, food storage.
I thought KFC Taco Bell pizza was bad.
Yeah. Nope.
Yikes.
So it is described as having 2 very large, ugly hobgoblins here.
Okay.
They're more hit points, larger in stature than the other hobgoblins. They both have chainmail on. One has a whip and a sword, so they can hit people up to 15 feet away.
Damn.
And jerking them off their feet to stun them.
Ooh, whips actually useful.
Yeah.
I wish they were in other editions because they're so cool, but nope.
One of them has an armlet that's worth 135 gold. You could think of as like a big bucket of XP.
Yeah.
They guard 6 prisoners chained to the walls. There are 2 chairs, a small table, a central fire pit, and various implements of torture in the chamber. The keys to the chains are hanging on a wall in the southwest corner.
Mm-hmm.
The following prisoners are present. There is a plump, half-dead merchant scheduled to be served in a special banquet tonight.
The banquet I was excited about earlier.
See, exactly, yeah. The guild, so I guess this is actually like the sous chef area.
Sure. Yeah, this is also the prep kitchen.
Well, that's why it's called food storage and playroom and torture chamber. A combination torture chamber, playroom, food storage.
Right. So what do they mean by half dead? Like, he is dead?
No, he's just been like beaten up pretty severely and
all
like
right.
hanging kind of half conscious.
Gotcha. Okay. He's not dead, but he was on the menu, and maybe now he is no longer.
He is not bisected.
Right.
If taken back to the keep, the guild at the keep will pay 100 gold pieces as a reward, grant the rescuers honorary guild status, and exempt them for a year from any fees, dues, taxes, and the like, which the guild would normally collect.
That's not bad. We'll take that.
There is an orc being held captive.
Okay.
They will fight goblins and hobgoblins gladly if handed a weapon, and try to escape from the adventurers the first chance they get.
Sure.
Taking any treasure they can get with their hands on.
Okay.
There is a man-at-arms who formerly served as a guard for the merchant. He will take service with rescuers for a year if an offer is made for room and board only, if given armor and weapons.
Okay, so you could have like a free hireling.
Yeah. Okay. The merchant's wife is in here, also slated to be served the big feast. She will personally reward rescuers by giving them a +1 dagger in her room back at the keep. There is a crazy gnoll. I assume it just means like the gnoll is crazed, because it says they will snatch up a weapon and attack their rescuers if freed. But they're weakened, so they'll only deal like a small amount of damage. Sure. And a second man-at-arms who is, just like the first one, willing to help.
Okay. So some help and some gold.
Yep.
And a favorable position in capitalist society for a year.
There you go. So if we had the feasting room that was upstairs. We had this torture chamber, playroom, food storage. We had the common room downstairs.
So, okay. It's the torture chamber. Check. Yep. We got that. Yep. The food storage. Check. We got that.
Yes.
Dare I ask what the playroom portion of it is?
It's never described.
Okay, good.
I assume the playroom is the torturing part.
Right, but I mean...
You would assume that's also included in
that's redundant.
The torture room.
Right. You could call it the fun torture room if you want to point out how much you like torture. But otherwise, the playroom part, because the playroom part of it is the ickiest part. Like, what's going on?
Hey, Gobsbarg. Yeah, Zorbag. Why do they call this the playroom? We're trying to rebrand.
Rebrand from torture to play. I mean, it works for hobgoblins.
Yeah. So that takes care of kind of like 2 wings of this place. If you head in the opposite direction from the start, you're come across a lot of guards. You're going to come across an armory that is pretty well stocked. The armory has guards on duty. If a warning comes, 2 will move to the door, waiting ambush. Another will pass through a secret entrance in the armory and alert the chief. There are quite a few pieces of good armor in here. There is a suit of man-sized plate mail.
Ooh.
A suit of dwarf-sized plate mail. 3 suits of man-sized chain mail. 2 sets of elf-sized chainmail.
Okay.
7 suits of man-sized leather armor, 11 shields, 6 daggers, a battle axe, maces and swords, bows and longbow, 13 crossbows, 11 score of arrows, that's 11 dozens, 14 arrows with silver heads, 9 score bolts, 51 spears, 19 polearms, 42 helmets of various sizes. So there is actually quite enough here in the armory to be able to kit out your hirelings with.
Yeah, I mean, you kit out your hirelings and upgrade any dented or not great equipment you're already wearing, and then have a tidy amount left over to take back to the armorer or the trader and sell.
Yep. Downstairs, a little further in, there is a storeroom that's adjacent to the secret door where it says "goods stolen from the stupid goblins are kept here until needed."
Sure, yeah. This is where we take the best of the stuff that the goblins steal, and they still haven't figured it out somehow.
Right, and it's literally adjacent to it. Like, you can open the secret door, walk over, and there's a copy of the first room, just with better stuff in it. It's like, oh, wait a minute.
And a better, more hidden door. You got to think that goblins, like, there's got to be some intermixing. Like, they literally have multiple points of entry and egress into, so there's got to be some points of mixing. No goblin has ever come over here just like walking around for like a little bit of a tour and be like, oh, what's in that room? Oh, we have a room just like that over on our side.
It's the episode of Roseanne where Dan and Roseanne visit the neighbors next door down the street, and the house is the exact same house.
Yeah, right.
It's the same set, but everyone's just like, this house looks a lot like they're playing on the joke. And there's a washing machine in the kitchen, and Roseanne slaps me. It's like, I told you could put one in there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So you have just a couple more rooms left. You have a guard room outside of the Hobgoblin Chief's quarters. The Hobgoblin is described as a great, ugly creature wearing plate mail and a shield, carrying 5 platinum and 31 gold pieces in a purse, wearing a silver and gem-studded belt valued at 600 gold pieces.
Wow.
With him are 4 large female hobgoblins, each equal to a male, and each has 2d6 gold pieces. The room is crowded with furniture and junk, all of no real worth, except there is a false bottom in a huge iron box filled with mangy animal skins. The secret portion of the iron box holds 25 platinum, 200 gold, 115 electrum, 400 silver pieces, plus a 100 gold piece gem and a potion of poison. Amidst a heap
Wait, a potion of poison?
Potion of poison, yeah. So it's like
just poison.
That's poison, yeah. Amidst a heap of kindling wood near the fireplace, there is concealed a wand of paralyzation.
Ooh.
But it only has 7 charges left.
I mean, if you can't get good use out of 7 charges of paralyze, I don't know what to tell you.
Like, I can't imagine that someone doesn't go running for that and like tries to figure out which of the kindling sticks is the wand again before the players kill them. That's got to be too good of a.
Is it the chief or is it one of his muscle mommies?
Nah, I think a muscle mommy does it. I'm pretty sure.
I just was looking for an opportunity to say muscle mommy.
What? I mean, who among us would?
Right. I mean, they go so far to point out.
Yep.
Large.
Hey, Gary, we need to cut some word count. We're like 5 pages over, and it's going to run heavy. We're going to cut this 1.5-page descriptions of the various chieftains' harems in distressing detail.
Of the 4 chieftains, very, very, very intricately pointed out. No, you can't keep that. That's selling the whole book. That's going to sell the whole book. Cut out some of that first part in the keep. We don't need a trader. What we really need are hobgoblin muscle mommies.
You watch. Someday there will be entire websites dedicated to full descriptions of these kinds of side characters.
That's right.
To which all the people at TSR said, "What's a website?" All right, so that clears out the hobgoblin parts of the kind of that blended dungeon of that first and second.
Yeah.
You're most likely to deal with them next because they're interconnected to that goblin layer, and that makes sense to me.
That's all the goblinoids. We've gotten all of our goblinoids out of the
pretty
way,
much.
Potentially.
So on the second layer, there's going to be 4 other caves. There's one on the very, very western end, kind of directly above the Owlbear Cave. And then there are 3 other cave entrances that are on the side the kobolds were on. So, are we interested in pursuing the area above the owlbears, or trying 1, 2, or 3 above the kobolds?
Let's go above the owlbear.
Yeah. So, much like the owlbears, this cavern complex starts off as another big natural cave.
Mm-hmm.
This is...
As opposed to, like, the goblin and the hobgoblins area was more like
They
work,
have a much more
like worked stone.
yeah.
Okay.
Everything is in straight lines.
Sure,
Everything
sure.
is clearly built with purpose. This is a almost a labyrinth, and actually, you'll find out it is a labyrinth.
Uh-oh.
Because what's laid at the middle of this is a minotaur.
Yeah-oh.
You have entered the caves of the Minotaur. There's enough of this described on the map that you can definitely kind of draw it out and be like, are you turning left? You have these passageways ahead. Like, this is absolutely the kind of place where you're going to describe to the map maker and the party and watch them attempt to create the map correctly.
Mm-hmm.
But there are 4 encounters that can occur at different locations in the labyrinth. The first is the Sturge Cave, which has 13 flying sturges in here.
Ugh.
Like,
at low level, Sturges at low level, good night. It's the flying.
Yeah.
It's the flying. You're not, at low level, you're just not able to deal with flying as well, and God, they will absolutely demolish you.
Like, you get 1 or 2 lucky hits from them that just stick into you, and then you miss once on your turn, and it's easy time.
Yeah, you're done. You're done. You are full on. You are full on. Oh, there goes all my blood. Oh, there goes my consciousness.
Yeah, my hemoglobin. No,
I need that hemoglobin.
It says if an opponent is hit, Sturges automatically suck blood each round thereafter, doing 1 to 4 hit points of damage due to blood drain until the victim is dead or the Sturge is killed. The Minotaur loves to catch and eat these creatures.
Oh,
probably when they're full.
I mean, yeah. You want the juicy ones. You want the real, the Creamfield kind. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh, it's like the signs on it, the Krispy Kreme.
Right.
So they avoid the Minotaur and are quite hungry.
Giant flying jelly donuts.
Yep. In fact, the hunger makes it 90% likely they will be squeaking and hooting to one another, so the party will not be surprised.
Well, I can think that when battle starts, somebody else won't be surprised either.
Right. Deeper in the cave, there are 3 fire beetles in one cavern.
Okay.
They too are hungry.
Great old school monster.
Yeah.
We do not see enough fire beetles these days.
There have been a decided lack of fire beetles.
There have been. Like, where'd they go? I know that fire beetles were the classic monster back in the day. And now when was the last time you fought a fire beetle?
Probably about around the last time we fought a rust monster.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have an affinity for rust monsters. I think rust monsters are great. But yeah, fire beetle, you just don't see them anymore.
Yep.
Weird.
So there are 2 different sections that have fire beetles in them, all hungry, all going to pounce immediately. They're nasty.
Oh, yeah.
And then deep, deep, deep in the labyrinth waits the Minotaur, a huge monster with a great chainmail coat carrying a +1 spear.
Woo.
Yep.
He's armed, too.
Oh, yeah. We'll rush forward to gore, bite, and stab with the spear. The Minotaur may only use the spear or horns and bite. When intruders enter the area, the Minotaur immediately moves to attack. He knows the area so well that the only way for victims to escape is to go through the secret door that lies in his lair to a nearby room, or else run out of the place and climb a large tree.
Yes, run away.
Yep. The cave the Minotaur dwells in has skulls and bones arrayed in decorative patterns. There is a secret door that is actually a slab of stone which takes no less than 3 humans to move. It will be noticed by carefully checking the walls, but how it is moved requires a roll of a 1 on a 6-sided die to indicate the searcher has found where it can be grasped. A lot of detail for just it's a big slab of rock. You move it.
Right.
all the Minotaur's treasure is behind this slab of rock. There is a locked chest with a poison needle in the lock, which, as we've learned, poison needles can kill you.
Yep.
Just straight away.
Yep. You get stabbed by it. You go, oh, that hurt. I hope that wasn't. And you're dead.
There's a little click. It goes up. Hey, what's in the chest? Tap on the shoulder, falls over.
Yep. That's how they get you. Save versus poison or die could be the could definitely be the subtitle of this podcast.
So the contents are 930 gold, 310 electrum pieces, a staff of healing.
Nice.
A suit of man or elf-sized plate mail +1.
Wow.
Yeah, you're going to be loaded for bear after dealing with a Minotaur. A locked coffer with 3 potion bottles, gaseous form healing and growth. 1 locked chest, not trapped, with 3 pieces of jewelry worth 1,600, 900, and 600 gold pieces, respectively.
This is an XP dump.
Yeah, exactly. This is like
the
big. This is the big quest completion, and you get the whole XP dump all at once. So definitely worth tucking into and finding that hidden lair. Could you imagine like not having that?
Oh yeah, ugh. And you have to, and you like, yeah, getting in there, fighting the Minotaur, getting absolutely wrecked, managing to kill the thing, fighting the Sturges, dealing with the fire beetles. Look around and there's nothing. And you don't roll, and so you don't get that you're 6 feet away from your next level and dope ass armor and ugh.
I mean, to be fair, he's carrying a +1 spear.
Maybe. Sure,
There's like, we cut his head off. We've got his chain shirt. We got the +1 spear. That's a good day for me. And then just, no one packed an elf in the party who automatically lurks for secret doors. So,
Yeah, just that your elf racism catches up with you as it always does. It's always caught up with me. I will be very honest.
Yep. So going clockwise, the next door neighbor to the labyrinth are a den full of bugbears.
Ooh.
And as mentioned...
So we weren't done with goblinoids.
Not entirely, no. There is a secret door leading from the labyrinth, one corner in one of the fire beetles' rooms. There's a secret door that can lead you kind of to the back end of the bugbears. We're going to approach them from the front. So you'll go in through the front door of the bugbear. It's noted that this group of bugbears, not numerous, but they make up for it with strength and cunning.
They make up for it by being bugbears.
Yep. There are signs beside the entrance cave that have written in kobold, orcish, goblin, and other monstrous languages that says safety, security, and repose for all humanoids who enter. Welcome. In parentheses, come in and report to the first guard on the left for a hot meal and bed assignment. Close parentheses.
What?
These bugbears have better, grammar than probably most of the people at the keep.
Oh, no, here's my problem. We're at the caves of chaos.
Yeah.
We're not at the caves of neatly ordered, regimented, monstrous humanoids.
You didn't realize that you were at the caves of chaos just in time for the job.
Right? I thought the one thing we were definitely going to get at the Caves of Chaos was chaos. And we literally come here and they have a bugbear administration station where you can sign in, presumably get a wellness check, get a physical, get a hot meal, have a nap. It's basically a bugbear tavern.
Krebor, it will handle onboarding in the next room.
Here's your complimentary Fitbit. And we've got some videos for you to watch, and then you'll have to go through all the trainings and everything.
Your signing bonus will be at the end of the first full week of employment.
And the first kill
Yep.
That first kill, that's how you get on the wall of star employees.
There you go. So yeah, I've always played bugbears as being the big kind of dumb bruisers in a goblin army, right? Your little goblins
Sure.
are your nasty, mean, tricksy, maybe kind of foolish and stupid.
Cannon fodder. You get them by the handful.
There's a bunch of them. Your hobgoblins are more regimented. They're more militaristic, generally speaking. They're the ones pushing everyone around and ordering everybody around. They're the jocks of the group.
Right.
And then the bugbears are just kind of the big linemen.
Right.
Like they're there to just be, kind of bat-eared, super big, kind of doing their own thing. Kind of like if you played Warcraft 3 or Warcraft 2, your ogres and your orcs, They kind of symbiotically work out, but there's sometimes tension. This makes them sound a lot more intelligent from the very beginning, which is really surprising.
Yeah.
But, it's like, I kind of like the take on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you ever played getting to 5th edition, if you ever played a bugbear when the monstrous races stuff first came out, you're kind of shocked at how almost overpowered they were, because not only are they big and strong, but they're also really stealthy. And it's basically begging you to be like an overpowered, like, rogue, to just pop out and be this giant creature that pops out from somewhere and deals 1 million damage plus 1 million sneak attack damage.
You're the big bruiser.
Yeah, you're the huge, shockingly athletic, just scary as hell. And these are also apparently pretty intelligent, because they've literally put together this multicultural center of killing adventurers.
Yeah. So this is very likely a place that your hobgoblins, that your kobolds, that your goblins, any of those leftovers that kind of escape.
Oh yeah,
you could very well make them wind up here.
Yeah. I mean, if you
make total sense.
Yeah, any of them that ran out while you were in the middle of massacring all their buddies, they run this way, because these guys are big, they're scary, they'll feed you, and like they're clearly looking to start an army. So.
Yeah. So picture this. Your adventuring party, they get to the door, they look confused, then everyone just kind of shrugs, slicks their hair back, pulls out their resumes and headshots, and then they go in to the first door on the left. Well, there's going to be a guard room with 3 bugbears inside, lounging on stools near a smoking brazier with skewers of meat toasting the coals. Each will ignore their great mace when intruders enter, instead reaching for the food. Though they don't speak common, the bugbears will grab and eat a chunk, then offer the skewers to the adventurers. Then suddenly use them as swords to strike the first blow, unless the victims are very alert.
So, confusion?
Yeah, right?
Just like...
They want to get the drop on them.
Yeah.
They want to be able to overwhelm them suddenly and just lay on the damage as quickly as they can.
Wow.
Yeah. There is a gong in the room, along with a couple of other things. And if the battle starts going badly, one of them will smite the gong in order to warn the complex.
We love that. Bang a gong. Get it on.
Yep. But this is interesting because, we described kind of some small complexes, but there's usually like a little bit of layering to this before you get deeper in. You know what the very next room just up the stairs to this place is? It's the chieftain. The boss's office is literally right down.
He's got to be close to the entrance. That way he can keep an eye on everybody, make sure everything's going on. He can be present. He wants to be around his people. He's open door policy. You can't just be tucked way around in the back. That's not what a modern day leader does.
No, this is the gunny sergeant for the group. This just slams the thing, and he immediately pops out and just what fuckery about?
Who slammed my door?
So it's described as this is a tough old bugbear equal to an ogre in stature and strength. Carries a key, 29 platinum, three 50 gold piece gems. There's also a female bugbear equal to the male, gold earrings worth 100 gold. The furnishings of the room are battered and crude, but there are several pieces of silk mixed into the bedding. In all, 6 can be found. The party can sell them for 20 gold each if you're really grubbing for all that GP XP.
Yeah, are you going to dig into the bugbears? That's the real question. Are you going to dig into the bugbear's bed?
Right. There's a great chest stuck up on a ledge near the ceiling, which will only be spotted if the room is carefully searched. It contains 1,462 silver, 30-pound statue of alabaster and ivory worth 200 gold pieces, and 2 potions of healing. It'll take 3 or 4 strong characters to bring this down safely. There is also a +1 hand axe on the wall, and if the chieftain has a chance, we'll take it down and hurl it first before closing in for full melee.
Ooh.
He has the secret door that leads to the labyrinth is in the back of his room. And he knows that it's there and will use it to escape if necessary.
Okay. I was wondering what the deal was with the secret door into the Minotaur layer. Like, are they... I was thinking like Torrid Romance, something like that, but no, just a clever escape plan.
Right back out into the chieftain's room. There's a little hallway. It's got secret doors on either end of it. It's a nice little kind of bolt hole.
Yeah.
There is directly across the chieftain's room the spoils room with a heavy door locked. The key, spoiler, is in the house of the chieftain.
Yep.
There's a +1 shield inside being used as a tray to hold dried herbs. It says it's catnip, something these particular bugbears relish.
Fun. Nice fun fact.
Can you imagine a bugbear rolling around on the floor with like catnip over them?
Yeah.
What the hell?
That's going to be a thing now. Anytime I use a bugbear from here on out, obsessed with catnip.
There you go. Foodstuffs, oil, tubs of wine, kegs, all sorts of different things.
Sure. Bugbear-sized portions of everything.
The kind of stuff that your merchant-obsessed, spreadsheet-loving character in the party will want to load up into a cart, take back to the keep, and haggle with to eventually sell them for 400 gold pieces. Deeper in, once you've kind of cleared those 3 rooms out, if you were to head in the opposite direction, you're not going to the job fair. You're kind of checking everything else out that's going on.
The bunk.
There's a slope up that takes you to a common room. This is where the rest of the bugbear kind of complement is. 3 males, 7 females, 3 young bugbears, piles of garment. There's a silver urn kind of near the fireplace. It's covered in soot. There's a guard room nearby with 2 males and 3 females. Then down from the guard room, there are the slave pens, where they have a number of enslaved creatures. All those people, by the way, that were just like, hey, safe, come on in. No, they're all locked up.
Oh, okay. Well, see, they would have gotten me. I was definitely thinking this was like Job Corps. I would have rolled in there with my resume and my headshot, and they would have been like, oh, come right this way, sir. And I'd be like pushing a big log to turn something to grind bread for the rest of my life.
Locked inside these pens are 3 kobolds, 1 goblin, 4 orcs, and 2 humans. Optionally, there could be dwarfs and elves added in place of the kobolds and orcs. They're chained to the wall with common chains and heavy padlocks. If given weapons, all will fight the bugbears. The humans will serve just like the previous ones who were guarding the merchant in the hobgoblin lair. The others desert at the first opportunity. In a different slave pen, there are 3 hobgoblins, a bugbear that is a rebel for the rest of the crew.
Rebel bugbear.
Yeah.
Recruit that guy.
Yeah. As well as a huge human, a seeming wild man with mighty muscles, shaggy hair and beard, and staring eyes. He is a hero, a 4th level fighter.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is something that only like people who've played in 2nd edition and 1st edition will know. He has 18 strength. For those of you who've been like 3rd edition, 4th edition, 5th edition, it's like, 18 strength. That's kind of, you want. No, you don't understand. In order to like get to 18 strength, you had like percentile. So it was, getting to 18 strength was a whole like journey and feat because it was like at the top end of human achievement. It was insane.
So this is the strongest guy you've ever seen.
Oh yeah. This is beefy.
He's a hoss.
You should definitely like see him kind of rise up with those chains and be like, I don't know if we should let this person out. This is Hugh Jackman immediately post Weapon X.
Right. I mean, they locked him in here with a bugbear and hobgoblins, a single dude, and he's fine, clearly.
And they're all on one end of the thing.
Yeah. They're on one end, cuddled up, and he's on the other end, just staring at them.
I fear no Minotaur, but that thing scares me. It says he is prone to fits of berserk fury due to his enslavement, and if armed and in combat, is 50% likely that will strike a friend instead of a foe.
Ugh.
If freed, the slaves will attempt to flee, although they will attack bugbears on their way out. There are two exceptions. The big bugbear hates his fellows and will take up arms and fight against them or any other inhabitants of the entire area, and will continue to do so as long as the party stays. The hero is an evil person. Once armed and after battle madness leaves, he will either kill the adventurers who freed him so as to have all their treasure for himself, or steal whatever is most valuable, then sneak off. But only if he knows the party is too strong for him.
Okay. Respect.
It's also noted that there are two bugbears that are out hunting at the time the players arrive at the Caves of Chaos. They will return with a human corpse and 83 gold pieces the day after adventurers first enter the bugbear lair.
So if you take a little nap ski in here, you might wake up to two additional bugbears.
So yeah, it's a full ecosystem.
Yeah.
Which is part of the appeal to it. It's part of the reason why people, felt it was like really enjoyable.
Right.
Over and over and over.
Yeah, I mean, in every location, it's not, because I mean, I definitely had in my mind like you go in and there's monsters and they're doing their thing, but this is really for both good and ill, I guess. Good in a game sense, but ill in a sense of like we go back to you're really just gentrifying this like very rich, deep culture that exists in the quote unquote Caves of Chaos, which definitely has like a name.
Yeah. Hey. We're fighting chaos here, all right?
We're
bringing law to chaos.
There's a native name for this place. It's like Denali, right? There's a native name for this place. We just call it the Caves of... Some guy was like, them caves are full of chaos. Let's call them the Caves of Chaos. And the bugbears are sitting here going... we literally... Dude, I invoiced a guy in another cave the other day. Like, I bought some cheese from the kobolds. I invoiced them. I have a PO on this, okay? There's less chaos here than you give us credit for.
We got tax season coming up, and that guy we got locked up downstairs, he may kill anything that comes in his range, but he's also a pretty dab hand at a tax form or two.
You know what?
He's been a banker in his past life.
You know what that wild man really loves to kill? Interest rates.
He just keeps staring at the wall and saying, "Say Wataneo." We're not sure what he's trying to say, but, hell, if he don't know his way around a 1099.
Yeah, I kind of am leading in the direction of I want to reverse this entire adventure, and you are adventurers who we'll rename the Caves of Chaos to what they are actually, and then your whole adventure is you have to fend off adventurers who are coming in to...
But did you ever play the Dungeon Keeper series or the Overlord video? Oh,
I did not.
You want an old... You want an interesting kind of niche, fun cult classic video game? Go find Overlord. Overlord is absolutely... You are someone who was like abandoned by the heroes and left for dead, and you've turned villainous, and so you're taking your army of minions,
right,
and you're striding out in order to deal with them. Or the Dungeon Keeper series, I believe it's Dungeon Keeper, where you were in charge of a dungeon and you were layering it with all these things.
Yeah.
Hapless adventures.
I just want this to be like, we're not evil. We're mostly neutral. This is just where we happen to live, and we have an infestation on the border where they've erected this unnatural keep where they keep sending in adventurers who come in here and they kill our women and our children, and I feel like you could do a reverse module, and it would be a lot of fun.
Call it We Have Names Too.
Yes, we have names too.
Look for that coming on the Patreon.
Yep,
soon.
we're doing it. We're putting it together.
That's the end of part 2 of Keep on the Borderlands. What other opportunities for gainful employment lie deeper in the caves of chaos? We find out in part 3. As always, we have a new release every other Tuesday. If you hate cliffhangers and like your podcasts long and all at once, we offer this entire episode from start to finish, uninterrupted, over on our Patreon. Find out more at our home base, analogdungeon.com. To enjoy the full podcast experience, subscribe, like the episode, leave a comment, tell a friend, all that good, juicy engagement stuff. We'll see you next time in the Borderlands.